Så, nu sitter vi på backstageområdet på Sweden Rock igen här och nu ska vi träffa den här mannen. James Michael.
Oh yeah!
Och med mig har jag vinnaren. Linus som går ur 9:an imorgon, så jag skulle kunna vara hans pappa, men det är jag inte. Och där har vi en snygg grabb. Here is...
How's it going?
No, yeah. Is this James? Thanks for a great gig, first of all.
Oh, thanks. That was a fun one.
Yeah.
Great crowd. We were so excited to play here. Obviously, this is the first time that we've played anywhere outside of the United States. So to come over and play for this passionate of a crowd was just a dream come true for us. It was just so much fun, and the crowd was insane, and it was just a fantastic gig. Very memorable. I'll never forget this gig.
Cool. Yeah.
Getting a text?
Do you want to ask some questions?
Sure. What can we expect from the next album, Sixx A.M.
For Volume 2?
Yeah.
Good question. Well, Volume 2, first off, Volume 2, it's not called Prayers for the Damned. It has its own title. So Volume 1 is Prayers for the Damned. Volume 2, we haven't released the title for that yet. But here's what you can expect. What happened is we recorded both records at the same time. And we were very intentional about wanting to make two different records for a couple of reasons. We had just done the Modern Vintage Tour last year, I think in April of 2015. And we learned a lot about ourselves on that tour. We learned a lot about what songs worked very well live and which ones didn't work as well live. So when we got off of the road, we decided, because we knew that Nicky was going to be leaving Motley Crue, and we knew that DJ was going to be leaving Guns N' Roses, and we also knew that we were going to be committing full-time to Sixx A.M. now. So it was a really exciting time for us, and we knew that we were going to be doing a lot of touring. So what we decided was, let's create a lot of music for our fans. Let's make two records. But we didn't want to release them at the same time because 28 songs is a lot to dump on somebody at one time. You know, these are, as Sixx A.M. always does, these are very heavy subject matter, very serious songs, very important songs, and we wanted to give people time to absorb the first record. But what can you expect from Volume 2? It's a continuation of the story. There are some incredibly powerful songs on Volume 2. In fact, I think that the three of us would probably agree that Volume 2 is probably even better than Volume 1. It was very important that was the case. You know, there have been double records in the past that have gotten kind of a bad reputation because what happens is a band will go into the studio and they'll with the intention of recording one record, and they'll have a couple of leftover songs, and they'll decide, if we polish these up, maybe write a couple more, we can have a double record. And what happens is that the quality level starts to drop off because the second record is just songs that didn't make it on the first record. We did not want that to be the case, so we were very, very specific about keeping the quality up and actually excelling the quality as we went. So it's a very heavy record. There are some really, really special moments on it. There's a song called Maybe It's Time that I think is one of the best songs we've ever written. And there's a few on this next record that are just stunning. There's a lot of really strong material. So we can't wait to release that record. We just can't wait. So hopefully by the end of this year, we'll get that one out as well. I know that's a long answer, but...
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Okay. It's a good answer. Do you have a song that stands out for you or like means something special to you from the albums that you have released?
From all of our records? Yeah. There's a few. The obvious one would be Life is Beautiful, because that really changed all of our lives. And I think that it also changed a lot of our fans' lives. We've had people come up to us over the years and said that song in particular either saved their life or gave them a new perspective on things, helped them through a hard time. So that's been a very special song for us. Me personally, I would say the song Skin is a real cornerstone in my career. When I wrote that song, the night that I wrote that song, I knew that I had done something that I would be proud of for the rest of my life. And when I wrote it, I had no intention of it being on a Sixx A.M. record. and then I played it for Nikki and DJ, and they both loved it. And I thought, okay, well, we're on to something here. So it ended up going on the This Is Gonna Hurt record, and it was. Thank you so much. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. That song also affected a lot of people, and I think that it spoke to a lot of people on a level that we can all relate to. We all have things about ourselves, I guess, that we wish we could change, or that maybe we're not as proud of. And what I wanted to do with that song was really just say, accept yourself the way that you are, because that is what is so special about you, about me. And I think that that's how it spoke to people. And so we actually played that today, and it was very powerful. I saw the reaction from the crowd. There's just that moment where people go, okay, this is this means something to me. So that would be the one song that I think really was had the biggest impact on me.
Yeah.
Do you think that you will make another concept album like the Heroin Diaries and This Is Gonna Hurt, like from Nick's Books?
Yeah, in fact, that's a good question. I think of all of our records as concept records, and I'll tell you why. And I know that everyone has a different definition of what a concept album is, but to me, a concept album is any album that's not just a collection of songs. Each song, in one way or another, is important to the other songs. So obviously, the Heroin Diaries was an extreme example of that. And then This Is Gonna Hurt. Obviously, we had the photography in the book. This Is Gonna Hurt. But then when you get to Modern Vintage, there was absolutely a concept behind that record. It was just not as obvious of a concept. With that record, we really wanted to explore what made us love music. And now with Volume 1, Prayers for the Damned, and with Volume 2, it's absolutely a concept record. In fact, the way that Volume 1 ends with Rise of Melancholy Empire, it kind of fades off and you hear this chanting. Volume 2 starts off right there. And so the chanting will come, and so it starts, and then the story continues. But in answer to your question, I think so. I think that we actually, the longer we write and record records, the more we kind of realize how important it is to have a concept, so that it's not just a collection of good songs, So yeah, I think we absolutely will.
Yeah. We are supposed to end now. It goes so fast.
Let's do one more question. Let's do another question.
What's the weirdest thing or something that someone has said to you during 6 a.m.'s timeline, or something that you have to sign?
Oh. Like, what is the weirdest thing that somebody has said to me? Or
That's a question.
That's a great question. Well, you know what? I think that we. Here's something that's interesting. People have always kind of assumed, because of Nicky's past, that he does all of the writing and that DJ and I just perform the songs. But that's not the case. We've been writers since the beginning. So I always find it interesting when somebody comes up and says, that song's Skin, you do a great job singing that. I'm so glad that Nicky wrote that. And then because they don't realize that I actually wrote that song. And I think that, and of course I understand why, but I always think it's interesting when somebody comes up and says, you do a really good job of singing Nicky's lyrics. They don't realize that I actually do write the lyrics. So, that's not so weird, but I think it's something that we've all kind of had to adjust to over the years, because what's very unusual is to have somebody as famous as Nicky in your band, and it's been a real blessing for us. I mean, everything that has happened to 6 a.m. started because he was able to get people's attention. So we are just forever grateful for that, and the brotherhood that the three of us have, and the friendship that we have, is really formulated what 6 a.m. music is over the years. So that's a good question.
All right, we have to end.
Okay, great questions, man. Very good. Thank you.